Hello, I'm Dan Povey and today we're up in Wascally and I'm gonna make some beer bread. So I'll explain how to do it and then we'll have a look at the finished article. So what you're gonna need for this recipe is some beer, and I've got some homebrew ale here. Me and my stepdad made it, and it's an IPA. That'll act as a yeast for the bread, so it'll allow it to rise and also give it a nice beer taste. I've got my flour, I've got 500 grams here, but we're only going to need about 300, and some salt. So let's crack on with the recipe. Okay, so first I want to get my flour and just put in about that much, which is about 250 grams thereabouts. And then I want to get my salt, and I just want to put some salt in there. Doesn't have to be ground up, but I'm just grinding it in my fingers here. And I'm just gonna mix it together now. Now I'm gonna get my beer. I'm just gonna add a little bit at a time and just roll it in. And I'm looking for just a dough consistency. After all, we are making bread. We'll just keep on adding a little bit more in. You don't want to add too much because you'll have very wet dough and you don't want that. If you do add too much beer, you can always add more flour. You'll just end up with more bread, which isn't always a bad thing. Tiny bit more beer, I think. And I want to get all this flour in there. That's about the consistency you want your dough. Not flaky and not too wet. I'm just going to add a bit more flour for dusting. There you go. I'm just going to keep folding it to get some air in there. And that is my dough. So let's head over to the Dutch oven now. Okay, so I've got my oven here. Now I'm just gonna add some flour into the bottom so my bread doesn't stick. You want about 2 millimeters or so flour in there, just over the bottom of the pan. And now I'm going to get my dough. I'm going to place it in my Dutch oven. I'm just going to take my knife and just score it across the top, like so. And there's my bread. So we'll wait for the fire to reduce to embers, and then we'll get on with the baking process. Okay, so that right there is what we want. So I'm going to get my Dutch oven now, place it right in the middle, and with these embers over here I'm going to place them on the lid. So I'm just going to get some gloves on, and I'll do that. So this seems a bit counterintuitive, but what I'm doing is I'm grabbing my wooden spoon, scooping some embers up, putting them on that lid. I don't want to put them all up there, or else we won't have any fire left. But after this, that should be about enough. Yep, and we'll let that sit there for half an hour now, and then we'll check it, and then it should be done. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes. Let's check the progress of our bread. Let's get a stick under there. Oh, that's looking good. So about another 10 minutes and that'll be done. Okay, so we're approaching the 30-minute mark on my timer. So I'm going to get the lid off that Dutch oven and see what the bread's like. Right, I'm just going to take my stick again, get it under there, lift the lid off, and that bread is looking absolutely tremendous. Look at that. Right, so let's get it out and let's see how it tastes. So here's the beer bread right here. Let's chop this open, see what it's like. Three ingredients and a perfectly fine loaf of bread there. I just wish this was smell-o-vision, because that smells tremendous. Why don't we give it a taste, eh? Okay, so I've got a piece of the beer bread right here. It smells lovely. Let's have a taste, eh? First time I've ever ate or made beer bread. That's really good, especially with that salt in. It adds an extra kick. Thoroughly cooked all the way through. 3 ingredients, probably one of the easiest things to make when you're camping. Self-raising flour, salt and ale. That's literally it for this entire recipe, and you get such a nice loaf of bread. And this would go great with a rabbit stew or something. Absolutely tremendous. If you enjoyed this video on how to make beer bread, then don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Also, if you want to see any more cookery videos like this and out in the bush, just leave a comment down below and I'll make sure it happens. So I'm Dan Povey, and I'll see you in the next video.